Good evening, everyone. I'm here at work, still following this case. I had previously did a video and my eyes were rolling all over the place because I'm still not used to going live on my MacBook. So if I start looking a little cockeyed, I promise you, I'm not cockeyed. See, if I look here, does this look normal? If I look up at the top, that looks a little funny. I can't see myself. So I was just letting my eyes wander. Anywho, let's just jump straight into the facts. So Nancy Guthrie went missing in the wee hours of January the 31st, February the 1st. At 1 in the morning, somebody was seen tampering with her doorbell camera. Around 2 something a.m., her pacemaker disconnected from the monitoring system. So here we are 11 days later, and there are still no suspects. There have been reports today that the third ransom note has been sent to the news station. Now, in my video that I did last night, we talked about some of the beginning findings of this case. So here we are 11 days later, and this is the third ransom note with somebody sending it to the news station stating that they know where Nancy is and they want 1 Bitcoin deposited into a Bitcoin account. So 1 Bitcoin is about $500,000. These people are alleging that if they receive this Bitcoin trans transaction, that they will release the information stating where Nancy is. They're not saying that they have her; they know where she is. So the first two ransom notes had an address on them, and they were asking for $6 million in Bitcoin. Allegedly, there has been no activity on those accounts, and the 6 million in Bitcoin has not been transferred. The note today had a different address, which is an active Bitcoin account, and they are watching it closely. I don't believe they're going to get the 1 Bitcoin either because there has been no proof of life in 11 days. So initially, the guy that's in the video footage that everybody sees floating around, he was tampering with the camera at around 1 something. There was blood found on the porch, and it has been tested, and it is Miss Nancy's DNA. So at this point, there are no suspects. A guy was detained last night and questioned, and he was released. So as of today, nobody is a suspect. Everybody in America is pointing to Miss Nancy's son-in-law, which is Anna Guthrie's husband. Now, why isn't he a suspect? I don't know. He was the last person to see Miss Nancy alive. He dropped her off at home at around 9 p.m. and all of this took place around 1:48, 2 a.m. But he has not been a suspect at all. And we all know when you are the last person to see a person alive, you are the prime suspect. And I'm wondering, why isn't he a prime suspect? Why hasn't the FBI released any information, investigating the family? Because if it was my family, right? If my family had someone to go missing, whoever was the last person to see that person would be the number one suspect, right? And we all would be under investigation. Let's be real. So as the this case is unfolding, I'm following it. Everybody is following it. I'm just hoping that Miss Nancy is okay. And as more information is released, I'm working and I'm also trying to follow this story because I'm curious. I'm curious to know, like, Miss Savannah Guthrie is an NBC TV personality, and we all love her. And I hope that I'm hoping and praying that her mother is fine. But something in my soul is telling me that this is family connected. Somebody in the family, I believe, who what they need to do is look into her assets, look into who's on her will, who is to get her property if she passes away, who is entitled to a big payout if something happens to her, because it all seems staged. That guy walking up to the house, you can tell he'd never been there before, because if he would have known it was a ring camera at the front door. The fact that he's picking up grass from off the side of the sidewalk, trying to place it above the camera, that's so amateur. I mean, if I'm gonna go to somebody's house to do a ransom, right? I'm not gonna wear reflectors on my shirt. I don't want to be seen. I want to move in silence. So why does he have reflectors on his shirt? Why is his backpack full to capacity? Like, He had them big, thick gloves on. I mean, it doesn't really seem like something that a professional kidnapper would do. It doesn't. I feel like that was all set up to deter the police, throw the police off of somebody's trail, which could explain why the ransom note came days after Miss Nancy was already gone. Typically, history has shown us when somebody takes a person for ransom, they kidnap the person, they leave the note on the table. But it didn't go this way. The note came 2 days later, I believe, which is a red flag to me. And then they're constantly sending these notes and they're not reaching out to the family to get the payment. Remember, this all is about money, right? So if it's about money, why aren't the kidnappers trying to get the money? And now someone new has sent a new note claiming to know where Miss Nancy is, but they want to get paid too. How ironically that they want to get paid the same amount of money that the reward is. Hmm. Why not call the tip hotline and do it over the phone? Because you don't want the police to know who you are. That's why you want to send it, have the money sent. Because let's just be realistic. Let's play this out. If I knew that somebody either next door or somebody that I know is hiding somebody that has a ransom on them, when I see the reward posted on the news, I'm gonna go ahead and call. I'm gonna call a 1-800 number and I'm gonna say, hey, I know what this person is. They're across the street. I'm gonna give the police my name so when it's time to get paid, I get paid. But if I had something to do with it, mm-mm, I don't want my name nowhere in it. So if I send them a letter and ask them to deposit this money into a Bitcoin account, I can stay anonymous. So that's what I think the third ransom note is. I think the person who sent the third ransom note is also the person that took her. These are the same people. I think they created two different accounts. They were hoping to get that 6 million. That hasn't happened. So look, I got to get something out of this. I didn't do all this for nothing. So they sent a third ransom note demanding that they will give information about where she is if they get this money. So yeah, I'm gonna just continue to follow this. I was on my little 15-minute break. My clock is wrong. But yeah, like my video, subscribe to my channel if you're following this case. Mostly everyone in the world is, but I mean, it's just fishy to me. It's if it's not somebody in the family, I would be highly surprised. But Miss Nancy stayed 35 minutes from the border. She could be anywhere. Anybody could have her. I think it was somebody in the family. They needs to start looking into whoever will receive a payday if something happens to Miss Nancy. And look, that's my time. Gotta go, gotta bounce, gotta get back to work. But bye.